everybody, to another edition of the Men's Advocate Show with me, your host, Linda Gross. I am so pumped up to tell you about today's show. We are rounding out the year. We are ringing in the new year. This is our third annual comedy show, and I'm so glad to have you here. We're joined by my guest, Mike Muratore, and we are going to be talking about dating and relationships. We're going to tear into it. We're going to continue our topic about crazy facts about affairs and see if we can yuck it up for you. And you'll have to listen to the whole show, because do you know what the most common dating occurrence is the day after New Year's? Oh, you'll want to sit tight for that. So plug in your headset or tune up the radio in your car. Whatever you're doing, you won't want to miss this show, okay? It's going to be lots of fun, and I hope you'll have a good time. Of course, as usual, we invite you to call the show if you have a funny dating or relationship or New Year's story or joke or whatever to tell. Do go ahead and call in. You can call in old school, which is 951-922-3532. Again, that number is 951-922-3532. Or you can call in New School from our mobile app, same name as the show, the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross, and go to the Listen Live page and then click on the Call Now button. Your fingers don't even have to get worn out. You just click on that button and it dials everything for you. And we'll get you right into the show. All right, before we hop into today's topic, if you happen to have missed last week's show, we were talking about sexless marriages. Do you have a spouse or a girlfriend who does not want to have sex with you? Are you replacing sex with addiction like porn, affairs, alcohol, work, or drugs? And if you're on the receiving end of a sexless marriage, just how long are you willing to wait? A week, a month, a year, or dare I say it, decades? Is this you? What the heck is going on here with this world? Also, on last week's show, towards the end of the show, you won't want to miss our favorite caller Steve. Yep, he was back, and he wanted to get his ex-girlfriend to stop hating him. You have to tune in to find out what I told him to say instead to win her trust back. All right, all that and more. So let's hop back into today's topic. It's countdown to New Year's Eve. We are just a few days away. Let's bring on my wonderful and funny guest, comedian Mike Muratore.
Hey,
Welcome,
Linda,
Mike,
one
to
of
the
my
show.
favorite peeps. How are you, darling?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Good. I heard your whole thing about the sexless marriage. You know how much time you waste? Never. Once the sex stops, you find a new wife.
I know, right? But so many people are not doing that. They're just
They're
putting up
stupid.
with
They need to
years
take the
and
red
years
pill.
of sexless marriage. I don't even get the point.
They're idiots. Guys need to man up. In defense of women, men need to man up. They need to act like dudes again. They need to tell women no. And women love it. Like my friend wrote an article that was amazing. I couldn't put it on Facebook because they pulled it.
Yeah.
It's called "If You Want to Keep a Woman, Treat Her Like a Pet." And that works. You don't have to be mean to anybody, but it's the kind of thing. If you don't set boundaries with people, as you know, as you teach men, they'll just do whatever. Women will just do whatever they want at your expense.
Yes, they're like little kids. You have
They're
to
like
put
little
them in
kids.
check every now and again.
Even your husband, who
And
I
like
met,
you say, it
who I
doesn't
love.
have to be mean. It doesn't have to be angry.
No.
And it's best said in like a clear, monotone, like non-yelling voice so she can actually hear you. But you got to put them in check. Like, here's the line in the sand. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, and this is my theory, and this can help the guys out there. If you have to reprimand your woman 3 times over the same problem, walk out. Because this is my theory with that.
Yeah.
After 3 times, they're not going to listen. If they keep repeating the same cycle over and over and over again, they're never gonna change. You're wasting your time.
So just like baseball, 3 times and you're out.
Yeah, I mean, you know my whole deal. I was dating a single mom on and off for 4.5 years. If this can help the readers, the people calling you, the listeners, she pulled something so insane 2 weeks ago that I had to call my martial arts student who's a police officer to throw her out of my house. She was on the phone with her ex in my backyard for an hour because her kid's girlfriend stole 2 steaks from Walmart. She shows up 3 hours late and then is on the phone with her ex for an hour. What would you do? I threw her out for barely seeing her anyway. But, yeah, no. And guys, don't always blame women. You got to know what you like and what you don't like. And you got to stick to your guns. It's not all women's fault. You got to know what you like. If you don't like a certain type of woman, don't get mad at them. Just don't date them. That's simple. And for women, it's the same thing.
See, my theory on relationships is the other person mirrors back what you're weak at. So
that's interesting.
You know, you have to finally figure it out and step up and say something or get that area of your life handled. Otherwise, the universe is just going to keep throwing out that same message again and again and again. Mike, you want us to beat you up? Here's that lesson again. You didn't take care of it last time, so I will dish it out again tomorrow or next week or next month or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a mirror on what our personal weak spots are.
I agree. I think you're 100% correct. Because I was raised by a single mom. My real father died when I was 2. And my stepfather raised me from 6 on, and he was a nightmare. And my mother was exceptionally beautiful. My mother looked like Selma Hayek and Sophia Loren combined.
Holy cow!
She had that hot woman personality type.
Yeah.
But when she lost her looks into her 60s, and now she's pushing 70, nobody talks to her anymore because she still has that hot girl personality type. There's no depth to what she does. And, yeah, I mean, I come from that. So it's the kind of thing where now, after that experience, I'll never do it again. I just don't. I have nothing against single parents. I think single parents should date other single parents. I just don't want to be part of that. That's just not my thing.
Mate with your own, huh?
Yeah. Because
don't go out of the dating gene pool. Mess it up for the rest of us. What are you thinking?
Exactly. You get this too, because they both have kids. They're both going to be second in each other's lives, and they'll understand each other's problems. But if one person doesn't have kids, one has kids, it doesn't work. I don't think it works.
So what do you think is up with this sexless marriage business from a guy's point of view? Is it because she makes more money and you just like all the toys in your garage? I mean, what is it about?
My buddy Tyler's going through this right now. He's a young boy. He's probably 27, 28. Comedian, really good kid. I met his girlfriend. I really, really liked her a lot. He tells me the other day that they haven't had sex in a year.
Whew.
And I said, she needs to go, dude. And I really like his girlfriend. I said, what's the deal? Well, she's in a different place. She needs to pack her bags and move on then. Because that's not a you need to go get yourself a new woman. And he's a little fat, but she's fat too. But he's fit fat because he used to weigh 360 pounds. Now he weighs 260. But he's kind of like a fit fat guy. But she's not thin. And she's pretty, but I'm like, dude, I would go L.A. fit, get L.A. fit, and then go get yourself another girlfriend because that's not healthy. And he has to beg her for sex, and she won't give him any sex. And I said, dude, you're too young for that. You need to step away from all that.
Absolutely.
I think what it is she's making more money than him.
Well, see, there you go. I mean, I can't really see any other motivation for a guy other than the woman is making more money.
Well, and why I think she stopped having sex with him is because of that. Because she's making more money than him, and she's paying the bills, and I think she lost interest in him.
Oh, she lost respect.
Right. Like my new credo now is all about, like, this is going to be my year in 2018. I am a pimp. It's all about making money and doing my thing. And if somebody wants to come along for the ride, great. If not, I'm cool. But, like, women, as you know, if the woman makes more money than the man or has more money than the man, they tend not to respect the man. What's your theory on that?
Absolutely, positively. I've interviewed women who make upwards of $200,000 a year. It doesn't matter. You better be making $2,001. You know, otherwise they don't respect you. And you could be the best chef. You could be a great dad. You could, be a great landscaper or whatever it is you're good at. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, in the back of her mind, she just won't respect you. Now, it might take 3 months to show up, 6 months to show up, 3 years to show up, but it's always going to circle back to that, and eventually she's going to dump your rear end. That's all there is to it.
What's your take on this? I have a friend who's famous, who's an actress, who has $20 million, right?
Wow,
She says to me, she's really famous, says to me, why can't I get a guy with the same amount of money my age? She's 54. And I said, guys your age that are with your money are not dating you. And two of her good friends told her the same thing. They said, you're going to have to date a guy that's like 70 to respect and treat you. Because she'd go after these young guys and they just abuse her. And they just go through her money and she has to call the cops on them. It's the same cycle over and over again. And she was really hot a long time ago, but she's not that attractive anymore without makeup. Mm-hmm. And I told her out of love, as a friend, I wasn't putting her down. I said, you need a guy that's at least 10 years older than you, and he'll respect you and treat you with respect. You might be able to get a guy in that money range, but guys that are 54 that have $20 million that are handsome are probably not going to take you out. They're going to go after a 34-year-old.
Oh, let's be real. They don't even have to be handsome.
Right, but like the guys that I know,
I mean, the young 20-year-old girls that they're chasing after, they don't really care if the guy's handsome or not. As long as he's got the goods and he's got confidence, they're down for that. The guy doesn't have to be handsome. That's not part of the job description. A girl has to be beautiful, but the guy does not have to be handsome.
Now, what would be your advice to a woman like that, if that can help your listeners? What would be your advice to a woman that's famous, that's 54 years old with $20 million? What would you recommend to that person to find love?
I mean, is she just going for the sex, or she wants a relationship?
She wants love. I said, you need to date down. I said, you already have $20 million. You don't need somebody's money. I said, why don't you just date a normal person that just is into you? Like just date outside your money range and go after like a cop or like a normal guy that just likes you. She didn't want to hear that. That
is what she has to do, and she has to play down the money thing all day long. Like, don't ever bring up who you are, how much money you have. You just got to play that down, and then you can date a regular guy.
Yeah, I told her that. I said she would be so much happier with a normal person than with like a celebrity that's narcissistic like her and crazy. Like a normal person could balance her. I tell her all the time. It's like, just date a normal guy. Yeah. He doesn't need your money. A normal man's going to take care of his stuff, and he'll treat you better. These guys that she goes after, they treat her like dirt. And what women don't get, and you know this, you're the expert at this. This is why I'm on your show every year, because I think you're awesome. Guys,
thank you.
Listen, listeners, guys don't care if women have money. 90% of guys in the world, this is what we like. So you ladies know, your looks, the sex, the personality, can we trust you? Can we live with you? That's 90% of the population. 10% of the population want a sugar mama. I got 3 friends that are married to sugar mamas, and I can tell you right now, all 3 of them are miserable. And those women are not attractive at all. At all. One's got $100 million. The other one makes probably about $500,000 a year. And the other one's probably got 20, 30 million through her family. Mm-hmm. And not one of those guys is even remotely happy, because they have told me that. Guys are simple creatures, ladies. We don't care how much money you make. We don't care. I like a smart woman, personally myself, because I'm older. I like a woman that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be with an idiot. Like my ex was an idiot. I like smart women. I find them fascinating. I like smart girls. A lot of guys don't. I like smart women. But every guy likes what they like. And I tell women, look good, act like a lady, be nice, and you'll probably snag a dude, because dudes aren't that deep.
And be chill. Act like you're having fun. This is not a job interview. Don't ask the guy 20 questions. It's like, go and have fun.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely. That's why I want to marry a Brit. I love British girls. I've been to London like a million times, and I cleaned up there. I love British women. I love their voice. I love their accent. They have a sense of humor. They're not shallow. I love everything. I want a British wife. That is my new goal. I want a chick from the UK. I love them. That's just my personal thing. Some guys like Asians. I like Brits. I like the way they talk to me. They're polite. They're fun. Every guy's got something that they like. You know,
London is calling, huh?
I love them really feminine. I don't like feminists. There's nothing wrong with being a strong woman. One of my best friends is a feminist, and I would never take her out on a date. And I think she's terrific. And I tell her all the time, you got to soften up if you want to meet a man, because the way you look and the way you act, guys aren't going to date you.
Right. I had a work colleague once, and she was driving around in a Ford Explorer, and she closed this really big deal. She was a commercial real estate agent, and those people make a ton of money, insane amounts of money. So anyway, she closes this big deal, and the next day she goes out and buys herself a Jaguar. And I said, so-and-so, you are never going to go on a date ever again. And she was very attractive, very personable, got a great personality, good to look at, the whole nine, right? And I said, no guy is going to want to date somebody that has a Jaguar. It's like you're better off getting dates with that Ford Explorer. You should have driven the Jaguar on your own time, but still kept the Ford Explorer in your garage, so if you have to go on a date, use the Ford Explorer. In other words, don't let the guys know that you have all this money. That makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah, and she did. She had a very, very difficult time dating after that. I don't know if she ended up finally getting rid of the Jag, but if you're driving a Jag, what's he going to drive? A Rolls? How hard is that going to be to find? So it was just a stupid move. I know she was proud of her sale and she wanted to show it all off and show off the bling bling and all that. But you know what? She didn't do herself any dating favors, and it just absolutely worked against her. Well, so your friend with the $20 million, the ex-actress, she's got to do it too. She's got to keep it on the down low. Don't bring up the money. Hide it somewhere. Have your portfolio and all that kind of stuff, but never talk about that. Because it's intimidating. Well, not just that, and this is the thing, and I have friends that are in that top 1% in the world financially. Ladies, I'm going to let you know right now. There's been research on this, okay? I have friends that are millionaires. I have one client who's a billionaire. These guys are not looking for you. Unless you're in the top 1% physically, they're not looking for you. And they like really smart women. This is another secret that I learned from my rich friends. They don't like dummies because dummies become dangerous. So if you want a rich guy, you better be no older than 30 years old, because those guys, they date way younger, and they all of them like something slightly different. But they go after the top 1%. If you have kids, forget it. If you're a grandma, not going to happen. These guys are very specific on what they want, and if you don't fit that, they're not taking you out. Date for love. I tell people, men and women, you got to date for love, because guys are just as bad as women. Guys go for looks, but this is the thing. If you're not a good-looking dude and you don't have game and you don't have charisma and you don't know how to close on a woman, you're going to date you.
So, guys, if you want a better-looking woman, make sure you're the best that you can be, and you will draw in what you're supposed to draw in.
Check this out. I saw a Facebook post the other day, and this woman got 500 comments, and I was just blown away at the premise. So the post said something to the effect of, guy who is 60 years old he's now newly single, whatever his story was. I don't know if the wife passed away or whatever the story was. Anyway, he's newly single, 60 years old. He's now dating a 21-year-old. And what are your feelings about that? And then on top of that, he has a 21-year-old daughter. Okay, well, her comments just went off the charts. I mean, just boom, boom, boom. Like every second, there was like a new comment coming in. And I'm like, what is there to comment on? Of course a guy is going to go for looks. That's what they're genetically programmed to do. It's like totally normal. Like what guy, if he has the means, wouldn't want to date a 21-year-old? It has no relevance to whether he has a 21-year-old daughter. They said, robbing the cradle, and he should be thrown in bed. Thrown in jail.
Well,
in defense.
So
anyway, they were just outraged, and I'm like, no, this is how this works. It does, that has nothing to do with the daughter.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And this is the thing. For me personally, I would tell that old man, it's not going to work. This is my theory. Half your age plus 7. If he was dating a 37-year-old and he's 60 with means, I could see that working out. But a 21-year-old, I wouldn't even do that if I was rich. Listen, Linda, I picked up a 22-year-old a week ago. They're fun to play with. You can't have any kind of real relationship with them. I tell guys half your age plus 7. So he's 60.
Yeah.
Somebody 37, 40, I can see that working. But 21, it's a fantasy. In defense of the woman, that young girl's going to take his cash. Or you can never trust her. Even if you love her, you got to watch her like a hawk. It's just going to be a weird dynamic that I personally, if I had a lot of money, would not want to be in that dynamic.
So you're saying he's just going after the looks, just going after sex, and it's not going to work, just forget
Linda,
it.
It's that new car smell, okay? She's 21. She hasn't been touched. It's like walking on a beach that's never been walked on before. I get it.
Yeah.
But I can see him, though, with younger. I think younger works for most men. Like, I could see him with a 37-year-old.
Yeah.
I could wrap my head around that because he can actually have a life with her.
Yeah.
My friend is 60, his wife is 40. And it works. If you see them together, it totally works. Like, they match. They're both really fit. And he has sons that are like 35, 36. And he has a second family with her. He has twins with her that they had through a surrogate. And everybody gets along. If you see them together, it works. But half your age plus 7. More than that, I don't think it's going to work. I think it gets weird. But I like younger. For me personally, I prefer younger women, but not massively younger. Not so young that I can't talk to them. But yeah, he's having a good time. He's 60 years old. He probably has a lot of money. He wants to live out his truth. You can't hate him for that.
No. So don't make it a thing. Just, do it like once, twice, 3 times, and bam, you're out.
Right. My advice to him is he's delusional in the sense that if he thinks he's going to have a loving, deep relationship with her, I don't believe that to be true. They have nothing in common.
Yeah,
what are they going to talk about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I saw a dating show just recently, and it was the same kind of scenario. The guy was like 60-ish. He's dating a 20-something-year-old. And to be fair, in the girls, to support the girl, her parents were diplomats. So every 2 years they would move to a new country, right? So, she was very well-rounded. She was very well educated. She seemed way older than her years. I mean, her real years were 21 years old, but she seemed like she was 30 because she had so much travel and experience and knowledge and whatever. So she actually could keep up with the older guy that she was dating, that they did a matchmaking thing with the older guy. And in her defense, I say more power to her because she was so mature.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both know there's no real rules in love. I mean, I've seen everything work. I've seen old work, old and young, young and old. I've seen the woman being much older than the man where it's worked. I think you got to figure out what works for you. You know, if you're a guy, you got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And if you're a woman, you got to figure out what works for you. You know what I mean? Every guy has different tastes.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have to figure this out. So anyway, if you've just joined us, you're listening to the Men's Advocate Show with me, your host, Linda Gross. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back from the break, do call us at 951-922-3532. Again, that number is 951-922-3532. When we come back from a break, I'm going to tell you the number one reason why women are cheating. And it's not for reasons that you think. It's not necessarily because of the sex. So we'll figure this out when we get right back from the break.
Hey guys, do you have a nagging problem that you just can't get a handle on? Now you can talk to an expert coach right in the privacy of your own home. Meet in person, over the phone, or with a free Skype call anywhere in the world. Linda is here to make it easy for you. Linda Gross has done years of academic research combined with interviewing over 20,000 men. Linda's expert advice gets you through tackling relationship issues, business goals, conflict resolution, and removing lifetime roadblocks that have kept you back. Usually handled in 4 sessions or less. Realize the benefits now. Go to the Men's Advocate page /coaching and you'll be on your way. That's themensadvocate.com/coaching.
You've heard her on the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross. How can you help further? From her Facebook fan page of the same name. Hit the Shop Now button and save this link to your favorites. Make all your usual Amazon purchases, and some of the revenue will support her show at no additional cost to you. No book purchase required. Just start with this link every time. The Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross thanks you.
The Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross. We will be discussing men's issues, dating, relationships, sex, women, fitness, health, business, men's hobbies, men's rights, and more. She will be talking about excerpts from her men's book, Mastering Women, too. Google KMET Advocate and save to your favorites every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time.
We proudly rejoin our programming with The Men's Advocate Show with your host, Linda Gross. On KMET, 1490 AM, Smart Talk.
Welcome back, everybody. You're currently listening to the Men's Advocate Show with me, your host. We have our guest today, comedian Mike Muratore. He's always a crack up. He's always keeps us laughing, but his comments are really intelligent and to the point. We can't get enough of them, and that's why he's back for the 3rd year in a row to ring in the new year. Mike, tell us about your upcoming gig on January 27th.
January 27th, we're doing the dirtiest show on earth at the Ice House at 9:30 in Stage 2. You can contact me at serialkillerofcomedy.com or at Midget Demon on Twitter or Serial Killer of Comedy on Instagram or Mike Muratore on Facebook. And if you contact me, I'll give you $10 tickets because at the door it's $15, but if you get on the guest list, it's $10.
Very good. So just mention Linda's show and they get in. Look how easy that is.
Yeah, just mention Linda and I'll take care of you. And listen
All right.
to Linda,
give me that information
Listen to
offline,
Linda.
and I'll post it to my Facebook fan page as well. So that's January 27th, and you can catch Mike in person at the Ice House, and that's in Pasadena, California. So make that happen. All right. So the number one cited reason as to why women have an affair. Now, this didn't used to be the case, but this is what's happening now. They cited economic independence. So now that the little ladies are making a little coin, they feel that they can do whatever they want to do, and I guess the rules don't apply to them.
But see, what they don't get...
What do you think about that?
I'll tell you. That's fine. But know this, ladies, if you have had a lot of men, sexually, men won't respect nor care to date you in any real situation. I have a friend who is 39 who has been with way too many men, and she cannot get a husband to save her life because she's just been around the block. So they lose their virtue. They can't act like men. What they're trying to do is be dudes. It's not that way. It doesn't work that way. Good luck on your journey, because the guys that you want aren't going to take you out. You can live. You can have sex with as many guys as you want, but I can tell you right now, if the guy picks up on, he's not dealing with you anymore.
Okay. All right, let's move on to this other one. It says infidelity is not the leading cause of divorce. The number one cause for divorce is still that standby old favorite, money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's money. I think women, I don't say they go after guys for money, because not all women do, but I think if they can't afford to live in the world, they panic and they run. What's your opinion on that, Linda?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's looking for a bigger, better deal. Women are looking for more security, which usually translates to money. And men are looking for a bigger, better deal, meaning she's more beautiful than the last one.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. Because of that, I don't really believe in marriage. I don't think it works for either party anymore, because for guys, a lot of the reasons why men aren't marrying anymore is because there's nothing really in it for them anymore. It's like, why would a guy get married to give up half of his stuff in 10 years? Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And they're changing the laws in 2018. It's going to completely change. Women are not getting alimony for life.
The laws definitely need to get changed. I mean, there's still some ridiculous laws on the books that are so outdated. They're 50, 60 years. I mean, it made sense 50, 60 years ago, but now they certainly don't make sense, and the abusers are just abusing the heck out of the law, and it's just not fair. So
they're changing it next year. I think the longest you can get alimony starting in 2018 is 5 years. That's the max. It's probably way less than that. It might be as little as 3.
5 seems like a normal number, especially if, she's taken time out to raise the kids. Usually it takes about 5 years to get the kids out of the house and in first grade, and then that way she has most of the day of her, on her own. And I would say to not just give her alimony. I would say if she really hasn't been in the workplace during those 5 years, I would hope the system would somehow train her to get some kind of career or get something going that pays her far more than whatever the alimony is.
I think that's a good idea, like to reintroduce them into society. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, in this country, we really don't value motherhood. Unfortunately, you go to like Scandinavian countries, and they give you, so much time off they give you like 2 years off to be with the kids with every birth, and your job is guaranteed when you come back. I mean, they really do value mothering there, where we don't. So, one way for her not to be dependent on the system and not be dependent on the ex-spouse is to give her some new skills that she can actually, survive in the world.
I think that's a great idea. I never thought of that. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah. Now, guess where these people are cheating? Where are 66% of Americans cheating? What would you think? And yes, it relates to work.
Work. They're meeting people at work.
They are cheating at work conferences and trade shows.
I believe.
You put them on the plane. They're in Nashville or Vegas or wherever they're in. They got to stay there for 2-3 days. There's only so much you can gamble. There's only so much you can, have chicken wings at the cocktail lounge downstairs. I mean, what else you got going on, right? And your husband's,
Right.
Your spouse is 2,000 miles away. I mean, I can see where 66% of the people are cheating at a work conference or a trade show. Huh. What's the spouse at home supposed to do? Put a tracker on you?
Yeah, well, this is my theory. I mean, that's why I don't believe in marriage. I don't think there's anything wrong with marriage. My problem with it is now it's an outdated thing. It needs to be, the idea of it needs to be modified to adapt to, 2018. It just doesn't work for either party. Because you've got internet now, you've got pornography, you've got Twitter, you've got Bumble, you've got all this crazy stuff. People are constantly distracted. So it's very hard for men and women to stay faithful to their spouses because there's such unrealistic ideals that they have to meet that I don't know, there's a lot of problems with it.
I agree. So, okay, also in the work category, it said that 46% of women and 62% of men did it with somebody that they met at work.
I believe that to be true.
I believe that to be true, too. Yeah. What's that old saying? I can't think of it now. I'm sorry. I should have written it down earlier. Something like absence makes the heart grow fonder. No, it's like, you're spending 8 hours a day with somebody and you're working on that work project and you're completing each other's sentences. Guess what? It's like, of course you become enamored with that person. You spend more with that person than you do your own, wife and kids. Of course that's going to happen. Now, I don't know how you curb that and not let that flirting get out of control. I mean, I think it's natural and normal to flirt, but, you at the end of the day, you got to put a lid on it.
Yeah, my theory is I think people have to be more disciplined. When they decide to get married, they have to actually really take it seriously. I have friends that have been married 3 and 4 times, and it's just nonsense to me. And it's just like, don't get married. And I feel that way with children, too. Like, don't get married and divorce your husband because you're bored. If he's beating you, if he's a drug addict, if he's spending all your money, if he's dating men, I can see you leaving him on that. But, like, if you're just bored, which is like 90% of the women I know that have left their husbands, that's not appropriate to me. And this is why guys aren't getting married anymore. Young guys are like, I am never getting married. And you can't blame them. It's like, ladies, make it more enticing for men to marry you, and maybe they'll marry you.
Right.
It's both. It's both sides. I agree with you 100%. It's both. They have to have more restraint.
Yeah. And I think one way to stir up the pot is, and to not continue with the flirting that goes on at work, is to actually make a date night with your spouse. And just have a regular day. Could be once a month. Could be, if you guys can afford it, make it once a week. But you need to spend time reconnecting with your spouse week in and week out. It doesn't have to be expensive. Doesn't have to be a $200 dinner. It could be just something easy that you guys do. Maybe you're just walking around the park for 30 minutes or whatever it is. But you need to reconnect, because otherwise that flirting at work, it's just going to get out of control.
And I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of opposites attract. I've never seen that to work.
Yeah, me too.
If you don't have a common ground with your spouse, male or female, it will not work. If you guys are so different, it just won't work. I have friends that marry these Russian brides. It's hilarious. They all get work for money. I'm like, number one, do you speak Russian? Do you know the culture? Which I do know the culture. Because if you don't understand the culture and you don't speak their language, they're going to own you like a pet. And you're meeting them on the Internet, so you really don't know who they are, and they live far away. So it's like, I blame the guys, always. I have more friends that are marrying Filipinos, Russian, and Thai women, and barely have ever even seen these women in real life. it cracks me up how simple men really are. It's hilarious.
Wow. All right, so let's get into what's the number one reason why a guy would cheat. I mean, you would think the obvious reason is he's just not getting any at home, which I know sometimes that does come into play. But actually, the respondents said other things, that the cheating guy said that his personal needs were not met, and he wanted these 4 things, which I talk about in my book, by the way. They're coincidentally very similar to what I talk about in my book, Mastering Women, which you can find on Amazon. You can either, sorry about that. You can either get that in the ebook format or paperback. Sorry, that always seems to happen, and even I turn the phone down and it seems to still ring. So anyway, the 4 needs that the guy wants to have met, otherwise he's just going to go looking elsewhere, is being wanted, valued. Come on, go away. Being wanted, valued, being appreciated, and if he doesn't get these things at home, he's going to look elsewhere.
What's the 4th one? There's only 3.
In my book, there's 4. I guess they only mentioned 3. Wanted, value. In my book, the 4th one is respect. If he's not getting respect, he's going to stray.
Listen, I agree 100%. That's probably the 4 reasons why I threw my ex-girlfriend out 2 weeks ago. Wasn't valued. Yep. Definitely wasn't respected. I'm way, as you know me really well. I am way too alpha for nonsense. I'm very old school. I'm a warrior. I'm very old school. And if you don't treat me with respect, I treat everybody well. I'm from New England. I treat everybody the same. I'm polite. I treat everybody well. And if I am continuously disrespected by a friend or a girlfriend, they're out the door. And I hate people that are late. That's like my own personal thing. I'm like a military person. If you're constantly late, it shows me who you are. I will not keep you around. I hate late people. And everybody's got something. And I agree with those 4 things. Guys are really simple creatures. And if you just give them what they want, they're not going to leave. They're like a dog. They're just never going to leave. Like, if they just get their needs met, you hit it on the head. Guys don't leave.
Yeah, that's very true. It's not that hard to figure out. Now, conversely, for the women, the number one answer that they said was they need to be listened to. And I totally agree with that. In my book, I call it second C, which means to connect with her. So if women feel that you're not listening, and the way they equate that is you're just not paying attention to her needs and wants and whatever is going on in her life, and she feels also disrespected. She feels like, you are ungrateful in a way. So, yeah, I agree with this answer that women need to be listened to.
Now, why do you think there's so much cheating now?
Well, they were saying the number one answer for women was because they have economic security on their own. They're bringing home the bacon.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And in general, why are they cheating? I mean, goodness gracious, if we all have smartphones today, I get bombarded 16 different ways from all the different social media websites. It's pretty hard to just hit, next, delete. I mean, I tell people I'm married, I'm not interested, just keep looking, good luck in your search. And, it's like I have this standard line that I cut and paste and send it back to them. I mean, it's just crazy, but you just get bombarded. And if the person is persistent enough, I guess it gets your attention.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think, people need restraint. They really have to be, because they're always looking for a better deal. But a lot of that, as you know, is an illusion.
Wow.
A lot of that is an illusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Okay. I guess the new iPhone doesn't want to lower the ring. All right, let's get back to business here. I turned it off for now. Okay, if you've just joined us, you're listening to the Men's Advocate Show with me, your host, Linda Gross. If you like our show, show your love. Listen, call, like our fan page, follow, comment, share, tell a friend. Start with my Amazon link, download my app, and buy my book on Amazon. Those are all ways that you can help promote our show. I am very grateful for you guys sharing the show with your friends and telling your friends about us. It helps us grow. And I'm very happy and very excited to, see new users and new listeners, and I love reading all your email and your posts that you send me, and keep doing more of the same. I'm very, very grateful. All right, so let's go into some of the stats for Ashley Madison. I promised you at the top of the hour, what is the most common dating activity that occurs the day after New Year's Eve? What do you think it might be, Mike?
Break up with either they're cheating or they break up with somebody.
Yep. The number one dating occurrence is that they cheat the day after New Year's. So I guess they survive the holidays, because who wants to break up? Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I mean, there's a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of office parties going on. You got to meet with the relatives, and who wants to explain why you broke up, to the relatives? I get it. So they put a lid on all of that. But the day after New Year's is the number one day for cheating. What do you think about that?
I agree. I had an ex that cheated on me like that. It was hilarious. She showed up at my house New Year's Day. She was gone like a whole day, and I locked her out of the house.
She got her
gift. Let her in her
and,
own house.
She got her gift and got the heck out, huh?
Oh, no, I wouldn't let her in the house.
Yeah, now guess what what city is the number one city for Ashley Madison? Out of all the big cities in the country.
Don't tell me. I want to really guess this one.
All right.
It's a good one. Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Los Angeles.
It is Los Angeles.
I was thinking of three others too, by the way.
Number one.
I was thinking of Los Angeles, New York, New Orleans, and Frisco. Those are the ones I was thinking, but Los Angeles was a no-brainer for me.
Yep, it's the top of the heap. All right.
Everybody knows that married cheats, so it's like it was an easy answer to a question.
Wow. Ashley Madison's motto is, "Hey, life is short. Have an affair." Meaning,
hilarious.
You're so stressed out at work. You're stressed out with the road rage people. You're stressed out with, you bought a product and it doesn't work, or like whatever you're stressed out about. Somebody crashed into your car. And you know what? Life is short. Just have an affair. Like that's going to cure all, right?
Yeah. And my advice to Ashley would be this. That's cool till you get caught by the wrong maniac and you might disappear. You might never come back, Ashley Madison. Like the maniacs that I know, like that are famous and rich, if you cheat on them, God help you. It's like opening the door to Hellraiser. Good luck with that.
I know, right? Okay, so Ashley Madison was launched in 2001, and here's how they came up with the name of their company. So what they decided to do is, prior to 2001, there wasn't that much social media going on. There weren't smartphones going on. So, they had to be really creative with how they came up with the name. So it's kind of like understood that men are cheaters and that men would sign up for such a site. But the challenge was, how are we going to get women to sign up for the site? So what they did was they took the two most popular baby names, female baby names, in 2001, and that's how they came up with the name Ashley and Madison.
That's fascinating.
Because they wanted women users to sign up. Otherwise, if you have too many guys, it's a sausage fest, and, they're all going to go away because there's no one to interact with.
That's a good point.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts. And it's funny because the women that I know cheat just as much as the men.
Yeah.
And they're better liars than men. I had a friend. This is for your listeners. I am not making this up. She had a husband and had 11 lovers on the side.
Whoa.
I am not making this up. It blew my mind. And she's explaining in detail how she met all 11. And she had 2 kids. 11?
Wow.
Listen, Linda, 11 lovers. I was blown away. I looked at her and I'm like, wow. I have never had 11 women on what guys call on, like, you create a pipeline. I have never had 11 at the same time. 11. I was like, wow. I was like, how do you do that? She goes, I just do it. I was like, wow. Oh, my God.
How do you keep their names straight? That's what I want to know.
11 at the same
I go to a party
time.
and I try to keep one person's name straight that I've met, let alone 11.
11. And because she never had sex with the ex-husband. She cut him off. 11 guys on the side. All different shapes, sizes, age, creed, color, you name it. She had it in her stable. It blew my mind. And I knew she wasn't lying to me because I know the kind of person she is. And if you met her, the sweetest, nicest lady in the world, you would never think that she was a nymphomaniac like that.
Crazy.
She's explaining in detail. It was creepy.
That is creepy. All right, the number one category, occupation category for male cheaters is finance. The number one female occupation for cheaters is education. Ooh, you better watch out for those teachers.
Wow.
Yeah. Or at least that's what they put down on their dating site, on the app. That's funny.
See, this is the problem with cheating. My stepfather was a massive cheater. He had mad game. And the problem with cheaters is it always comes back to you in the end.
It does come back. Mike, I'm so sorry. We're running out of time here. It's so great to have you on the show. We'll have to do this again really soon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross. Everybody have a safe and happy holiday season and a new year. And we'll see you next week, and it'll be next year, 2018, every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, Mike.